All right. All right. Great. All right. I said, my name is Verna. I am your coordinator of faith formation here at St. Clair. I've been here for this is my 16th year with the program. I started out as the assistant. About 5 years ago, I took over as the coordinator. And I also am the coordinator of sacraments for St. Clair. I coordinate all the sacraments for the faith formation families and for the Catholic school families, because all the children make sacraments through the parish they belong to. So yes, and Bridget, she's not on tonight, but she's my assistant for both. And she's the one who usually sends out all the communication, the flock note and everything. So you'll get a lot of emails from her. Know that I'm copied on all of them, so I'm aware of everything she does send out. So with that being said, before we go into anything, is there anyone have any questions about anything at this point? No? Okay. So I'm going to get right into My Catholic Faith Delivered. My Catholic Faith Delivered is an online lesson or online lessons that your children will do weekly starting about mid-August, okay? Each week, you will receive an email through Flocknote. Now, if you haven't, you should have received an email from Bridget through Flocknote, and you should have been able to go in and update your cell phone, because she can also text you. And that sometimes is a great way for us to say, hey, we just sent you an email, because everybody has their phones. I mean, we don't live without phones anymore. So each week you'll get an email telling you which lesson that your child needs to complete and when the date is due. All right. So you'll make sure you look for that. We won't really post the lesson plan. We did that last year, and it just got confusing because some families continued on 1, 2, 3. Like, we skip around because of the liturgical year. We can't teach the children chapter 7, I think in first grade is Advent. We can't do that in September. We have to wait till November. Okay, so we do skip around. So don't be surprised if one week your child is on chapter 3 and the next week they're on chapter 24. Don't worry, we know what we're doing. We're just doing the liturgical year, and we try and coincide what happens at Mass. Some of the lessons, like right now, we are, if they talk about Moses, your children might be learning about Moses. Talking about Adam and Eve, so we try and overlap those. So when they go to Mass, they're like, hey, we just learned about that. Or, hey, we just did that the week before. Okay. Let me share my screen with you, and hopefully it's much better than it was this morning. This morning was horrible. So I'm going to share with you right now. Can everybody see that? That is the My Catholic Faith Delivered website. In the next couple of days, probably early next week, you're going to get an email from My Catholic Faith Delivered. All right. And it's going to send you your child's user ID and their password. Now, if you have more than one child, you'll get more than one email, because each child has a unique user ID that stays with them throughout the program. So children that were in the program last year, they'll be able to log in again this year with the same email, user ID and password, and then continue with this year's lessons. A new grade level come up. The lessons are the subscription is only good for a year. So once you open it up, that's why I'm going to start August 1st. On August 1st of 2022, your child's subscription will start once you log in. And then on August 1st, 2023, it will end. But our lessons will be done way before that. So it is a yearly subscription. But then when you sign in the following year, the new year's lesson will be there. So if they were in first this year, next year, second grade will come on. So again, you'll be able to come to the screen, you'll log in. Now today, I'm going to log in. This is my grandson's login, all right? He was in first grade last year, so you'll be able to see what the first grade curriculum looks like. And each grade is pretty much the same. So he would log in, as you can see, his username is very different. All usernames are at mcfd.site. Usually it's your first initial, a couple letters of your last name, and then it gives you a number. And then the password, when I set you up, everyone's password will be your last name or your child's last name. okay? When you go in there, you may change the password if it's easier for you, but never ever change the email username that it's given because it's unique, okay? And that's how we'll be able to pull reports on our end to see what your children are doing. So that's his username, password, and then we will sign in. Now, it gives you an option every time. Now, obviously, he's been in here, he's done lessons. It'll tell you to go to the previous page. Your first time, it'll probably say go to the dashboard. So you'll click on the dashboard. My computer wants to be slow tonight. Okay, and this is what it'll look like once it comes up, all right? It'll have your courses right there. So right now, it only is showing him his first grade course. And when he gets the next one, second grade will be there. So you will go here and you would click on the lesson. And then the lesson, the whole online comes up. So you can see every single chapter is here and the unit test. All right. But again, you're only going to work on it on the lessons that we let you know that are due. On the right-hand side, there's a class thread. This is what Bridget did this last year. So if we need to notify you sometimes, we can put something in here. So a lot of parents did allow children just go on, say, okay, guys, it's time for you to do faith formation. Here, log in, here's the iPad. It's iPad friendly, it's laptop friendly, desktop friendly. It'll even work on your iPhone, but it's kind of tricky because they can't play the game on there. My grandson used to get frustrated, but it is iPhone friendly also. But we will, you can see some people responded. You can put something in the thread. We really didn't use it much because we used our Remind and we'll be using Flocknote for that. But there is the way that you can do this on this site. As your children go through, as you click on each lesson, you'll see there's a check mark. That means that the lesson is complete. The lesson's only complete if you go from start to finish. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. So when you get the email that you'll have next week, you'll log in with your child and you'll come to this page. The first thing I asked you to do, which is due by August 4th, is to click on the student and family resource. What this does is tell me that you were able to log into the system and you were able to access the dashboard and the lessons. Last year we had some families, they were able to get in, but they didn't see the lessons. So you'll see this is the student and family resources. This is something that every level has, and it pertains to that level, that grade level. So at the bottom, you'll see next page, so you'll click on that. And this kind of gives you, it's just a family guide. So if you're working with your child on the lessons and they have a question, or you wanted some extra work or activity to do with them, or to embellish what they read, there's a breakdown for every single lesson, almost like a little lesson plan, that you can come to this resource page. There's no need to print it out unless you want to. It is 74 pages. You may not want to. And you can go there, and as I get to see grade 1. And the first chapter for grade 1 is God is our Father. All right. So in here, it'll tell you the focus of what this chapter is about, how to begin the chapter, pray the glory be, share a story, summarize it, review it, have some questions. So it's an extra resource for you to work with your child on this chapter. If you want to do it, that's great. You don't have to do it. I just want you to be aware that there are resources for you. We're not just throwing you out there and saying, here, teach your child. There's resources here for you. And always know that myself, Bridget, any of the priests, we're also your resources. We're here. So some ways you can buy it is, what are some good gifts God has given you? So these are follow-up questions that you can talk to your children about once they've completed that lesson, all right? Once you're done looking through this, so you know that this is available, you would hit next page. And the next page is an activity book. Again, you do not need to print this out. All children in second grade will receive this activity book, all right? Because we will be using it for things, for sacrament. if you have a first grader, we did give them all out to first graders last year. And if you want the book, we will order you a book. I'm not going to just give them out to first grade. It's just an activity book, and it is extra help with the lesson. Let me see if I can get this down more. So here is, so if your kids like to draw, they like to color, they like word banks, they want extra work, these are great activities for them to help with each lesson. So the first lesson here would be draw yourself in the palm of God's hand. That also goes with, if you see right here, grade 1, chapter 1, lesson 1. So they will learn that we are the palm of God's hand, so they can draw and do whatever. So again, this is extra. You don't need to have this book. We don't require, we're not going to collect it from you. We're not going to use it. The only ones we will use it with will be with second grade because of them preparing for reconciliation and communion. Now, if you don't want, you're like, then I don't want to order the book, but you see a page or you want to do extra work with them on a lesson, all you have to do is go to print here and choose the page number that you want to, say we want to print page 11. That page will come up and then it will print for you. So that would be that's actually page 11, even though it's page 1 or page 10. All right, and then you would just print that page. Once you're done this, and again, there's nothing for you to do, you would just then exit out the lesson. And then that will tell me and Bridget, that you have gone into My Catholic Faith Delivered, found out where the student and family resource information is, and that we know that you were able to get into the system. All right. So you will receive an email with a login. You will also receive an email to give your consent for your child to be able to access these lessons. All right. If you don't give that consent to say yes, you won't be able to log into my Catholic Faith Delivered. All right. Are we good right now? Anyone have any questions so far? All right. So let's move on. So, okay, you'll get your first email. Bridget will email you and say, okay, almost everyone's going to start with lesson 1. So then you will click on lesson 1. Every lesson starts out, of course, it's going to tell me it's complete because he already did it. So, all right, let's see. No, we're at the end. Okay.
Click on the flashcards below to see the definitions for each vocabulary word.
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Our Father, who art in heaven,
on earth
hallowed be thy name.
Give
Thy
us
kingdom
this day
come.
our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Our Father,
And lead us not
who
into
art in heaven,
temptation, but deliver
hallowed
us
be
from
thy
evil.
name.
Amen.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
All right, let me get out of this. It was giving me trouble this morning, sorry. Let me try again. I don't want that. All right, let's try this again. Dashboard. All right, click on this. Okay, so God is our Father. This is still recording. Okay, I could stop it. All right. So every lesson begins with a prayer. And again, it can play, I can turn off the sound. It can play without the sound, but it's the Our Father. So each prayer is different for each grade level. So this one actually, and each lesson sometimes changes the first prayer. So the first, so it'll tell them that. I'm just going to mute that. Once you're done going through the prayer, you would hit the next page. And it always has like a Bible verse. So the Bible verse is, behold, I have graven you on the palms of my hand. So this is the Bible verse for this lesson. The next page, every lesson comes with a pre-assessment. Tell the kids not to worry about that. There's nothing, they can get them all wrong, they can get them all right, they can get one right. It's just kind of seeing, what does your child know, okay? So the first one obviously is, what is God's home? Hopefully they all know heaven, so they would click on heaven, okay? Then the next one is, Jesus taught us a prayer called, and he taught us a prayer called the Our Father. So they would click on the Our Father. Then God hears and answers our prayers. Prayer is a blank between God and us. It's a talk. And then God made us out of his great love, right? So, and all these 5 questions are going to be answered in this lesson. So it is a pre-assessment. They come with that. Tell the kids, don't worry about it. Some get upset if they don't have 5, all the ones right. It's just seeing what they know and what if they know it better once they're done. You can also click on it and it reads. So you can give your child your tablet, like you just have to sit there with your child. If you choose to do it with them, that's great. You can read it. If they want to do it, you can actually just put them in front of this computer and they'll be able to do it on their own also, because it does read to them. Once they're done the pre-assessment, you have to make sure you submit the answers. Without submitting the answers and hitting the next page, we won't know that they've completed it and it won't get marked 100%. So it'll ask you, do you wish to continue? Yes. And then it'll tell you how many you got correct. If you got one wrong, you can review the answers. You would go on to the next page. There's always a words to know, and I'll read to them. So these are the 2 vocabulary words they will talk about in this lesson. And then they'll hit the next page. And then this is the reader. I'm going to just pause it for a second. So as you can see, it will read this whole lesson to your child. Okay. Right. So you have your choice. Like I said, if you're sitting there and you want your child to do their own, they can. If you want to read it to them, you can. So, and this is for all the grade levels. They're all made up this way. So it is a way that your child can sit here and just do the lesson and have this, then read it to him. Once he's all done, they're all done this page, they'll hit the next page. There's a prayer. Not all of them will have a prayer afterwards, but first grade does, again, have a little bit extra work for them because it's teaching them their about God and about their prayers. Then you hit the next page again, and they can do that. They can go with their flashcards and they turn them, and it'll read it to them. It should read it to them. All right. Somebody got it. All right. Again, once they're done this page, they'll hit the next page. So it's pretty much going on. Then there's just for fun, there's a game. There's a game or, oh no, this is the catechism. I think I mixed the game. Yep, all right. I clicked too fast. That's the other thing that can happen. All right, so each one has a game or an activity. So this is so he can play the game. So it's a little break in between the story and the post-test, and it will ask questions. So who is talking with God? What is talking with God? And it's called a prayer. So by getting the answers correctly, they get to all the animals into Noah's Ark. All right. Usually there's 5 questions. Sometimes there's a painting game, there's a puzzle, there's angels racing, but they're all based on questions they're going to ask your child, and they should answer them. So who made you? God. Again, the next animal goes in there. All right.
Verna,
Yes.
are you sharing, like all I see is the welcome screen. Are you actually sharing what you're talking about?
Yes. Does anybody else not see that?
No, I put it in the chat a couple minutes ago. We're just seeing the parish website. I think you might have the wrong screen sharing.
Oh my goodness, I'm over here been doing that. You guys are just looking at me doing that. I'm so sorry.
Well, you're doing a good job. I could visualize it.
Okay, yes, you are. All right, let me see what's happening. So what screen do I have? All right, let me. Oh, it did. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go back. I apologize. All right, let me go back. So you guys didn't see any of the, were you able to see the resources? Nothing. All right. Can you see it now? Can you see the dashboard? Or can you see My Catholic Faith Delivered?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So we go back. Here's the dashboard. I'm sorry. I thought you guys could see what I had.
I think it cut off where you started printing. When you first started printing is when we stopped paying it.
Okay. Okay. Got you. So you guys got through the student resources one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Good. All right. So we go back to lesson 1. And you heard that it was talking to you, right? That you could see all that. Okay, good. All right, so, all right, let's go back. I'll just have you should see the screen real quick. All right, so the first screen again is always a prayer. You guys can see that, right? Okay, good. So it'll do the prayer, hit next page. Then I'll have the word of God. You'll hit next page. The assessment was there. All right. Did you guys do that? So again, you can click on here. It'll read the question to your child.
Blank is God's home. A.
And then you want to make sure you click on the answers, and at the bottom you hit submit. So I'm just going to go through it since we already talked about that. Then we're going to hit next page again. I know we didn't score. Keep going. Then it has words to know. Then it'll
God
read,
is our Father.
This is the lesson for first grade. Usually the first grade only has 1 page. So you can have them play it, or you can read it to your child. And then you would hit next page.
We pray.
And then the prayer.
Click on the flashcards below to see the definitions for each vocabulary word.
So they could click on on there and learn what each definition is. Okay, next page. Here's the game I was telling you about. There's games, there's activities, there's coloring. As long as they answer the question correctly, the animal will go into it. So each one's different. The games change for each lesson. After you hit next, this is the catechism.
God made me.
Like a catechism practice. It gets
Why is God called Father?
And then this is the post-assessment. So after they complete their lessons, everyone will have a post-assessment. Again, I'm not looking for kids to get 100. Obviously, I don't want them to fail either, but I want to, this tests what they've learned in the reading. And it will be done the same way. You can play it, or you can listen to them and make sure they click a box for each answer. At the end, they'll hit submit answers. It'll say, do you want to submit? I'm going to say, yes, we're going to submit without. And then it'll give them a score. Well, it says I got 1 out of 10, but we're just going on. And then you can always do the answers if they got any wrong. Then you would hit next page again. And it ends with a prayer. Okay. Then you hit next page again. It'll go through
our common prayer.
Common prayers that a first grader should learn. And now, then we hit next page again, you'll come to the end of the lesson. Once you get to this point, you hit exit the lesson, and when you come back to the dashboard, there will be a green check mark. If you do not get a green check mark, that means the lesson, they may have missed a page along the way, or something happened. They didn't record the scores or anything like that. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry that you weren't able to see the whole thing. You guys have any questions with this? And each grade level will be the same. All right. Then you can go to my reports, and you can then see how they did on each of their lessons once it comes up. All right. So you can see lesson 1 for my grandson when he did it took about 37 minutes. All right. It shows you his first score, his best score. Like I said, and I get to see that too. And he got his status is 100% complete. That meant he completed the whole lesson. As you can see, some lessons took a lot less than that. Some took a little longer, all depends. If he was interested in the game, he played it a few extra times. So for a typical first grader, your lesson should take 15 to 20 minutes, all right? So it's a lot better than an hour and a half coming and sitting in a classroom, all right? Again, as they get older in the grades, the lessons get a little bit longer. They may take, but the most, my granddaughter's in 4th grade, it took her maybe 25 minutes to a half hour to do a lesson. So you're looking at maybe a half hour a week to do a lesson, all right? Now, if you get to a point that you're trying to do a lesson or you go away or this week is hectic for you, if you fall behind a little bit, it's okay. Get the lessons caught up. We don't want them to fall too far behind, because then, like I told you in the beginning, the liturgical year comes into play. You know, if you don't get onto your Advent lessons and then you go into Christmas, you're living Advent during Advent, and you're going to try and teach them in December what the other lessons were supposed to be in November. All right. But we do work with you. So know that if they fall a little bit behind, it's okay. We just don't want them too far behind that there's too much to catch on. The great thing about the curriculum is it builds on the last lesson. So you saw that first lesson is about God, heaven. The second lesson is going to be pretty much about God, heaven, the Blessed Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. The third lesson, so each lesson builds on the last, so it's a repetitive. So you probably will sit there like, oh, again, we're hearing that. But it's good for them because then they get to build on what they heard the week before, okay? Any questions at this point with My Catholic Faith Delivered? All right, so with that, you're gonna look for an email early next week with a consent form saying, yes, you'll allow your child to be able to go online, and their username and their password. And we are not going to change their usernames, all right? If you have more than one child, again, you'll get two consents, you'll get 2 emails, 3 emails, how many children you have, with their own user ID and password, all right? You can change the password to whatever you like, all right? But never change the user ID. Any questions with that? Sometimes it gets sticky. Sometimes I will tell you up front, last year was our first year using this program. So we learned our kinks through it. Bridget's much better with it than I am. Like I said, I did have my grandson and my granddaughter doing the work. So I was able to hear the chapters or some videos in there. It's really good. It really engages them. So, but if you find that your child is having like a really hard time focusing with the reading and the videos and you would like a book, just let us know. Don't just stop doing the lessons and not do the, you know what I mean, doing the book, and get far behind that I give you a book and then you're trying to get caught up, all right? But I want to work with you. The lessons, as you can see, it reads everything, it does everything for you. You just have to sit with them if you want, all right? Especially if you're an older child, you can just say, hey, go do your lesson. And it'll read it and they'll go on, and then if they have questions, you can help them, all right? The next thing I want to show you real quick is I'm going to share my screen again and make sure I'm going to go back to the parish website. Can you guys see that? So, right? Can you see the website now? So as you know, you can go to the faith formation portion of the website. And the family, on the front page, you'll see myself, Jit. Our Facebook page is here and any updates. Formed, it's a great, Formed is like a Netflix for religion, for Catholics. Has lots of videos on there. Brother Francis is on there. We'll utilize that during some of the gatherings that we have together with the kids. We use that for some sacrament, but it's free to every member of our parish. You can go in and sign up. And like I said, it's like a Netflix. To get, anytime you need any information for faith formation, please check the website. So on here is the policy, a link to My Catholic Faith Delivered. The calendar of the whole year is on here. Bridget does a really good job keeping this up. When it's time for family gatherings, you'll be able to click on this link and see which gatherings are available, what is available to sign up for. You'll see October. On September 1st, you'll get an email from Bridget. You'll get a flock note email, and it'll give you a little newsletter, and it'll say, okay, it's time to sign up for one of these events, right? Because remember, every child, every family should come to one gathering a month. You can only use that gathering once through the year. So if you went to Rosary at the Grotto for the month of September, you'd sign up for something different in the month of October. Same thing, if you came to Raising Faith-Filled Kids in September, you'll sign up for a different in October. The Blessing of the Animals is that's actually more than 75 spots. We had about 120 families there last year. That happens on the grass in the parking lot of Swedesboro Church in Swedesboro, St. Joe's Church. And you bring your pet. If your pet is not pet friendly but other pet, you can bring a photo of your pet. If you don't have an animal, you can still come and watch the animals get blessed by Father Kennedy. All right. So that's a great event. The kids love that each year. So that could be one of your events that you'll sign up for. Those events become open at 7 p.m. on the 1st of every month. As you can see, we didn't list the other ones yet. And they're first come, first serve. So once that event fills up, you have to, choose another event. So if you know that you could only come on October 26th, that's the only event you can do that month, get on there and sign up for it. Again, if you get on there late, there's an issue. We do try and work with you to get more people, work with you, but do your best to get on there for these. Any questions about these gatherings? These gatherings are held, they take the place of your child coming every week, September through April. We find that everyone's so busy right now. The outside world has your kids going in all different directions. And we found that the Family Faith Formation Program works the best right now for our parish. All right. When you're done with that, let me see. Okay, service projects. Every child has to do a service project. A corporal work of mercy, one for each semester. So for the fall semester, we already opened some up. We have Operation Backpack. If you want to donate to that, you would sign up here. We have the night's pantry toilet drive. There's sign up, but these are the items. You just would bring them to the church. Take your child with you to shop for these items. Once they've completed the service, there is a service form it's a Google Doc. You come to the website with your child, you'll click on the form, it's not open yet, and you just fill it out. You'll put your child's name in there, what grade level they are, and answer the questions, which service you did, and that completes your child's service for this semester. All right. There's also, let me go back here. There's also one, and when the new services come available, they'll come to this portion of the website. There's also a spiritual work of mercy that all the children should do. It's one per year. And there's another corporal work of mercy for the second semester. These are what the corporal and spiritual works of mercy are. So what they mean is you pick something in that one of the works of mercy and you complete it. Like feed the hungry could be making the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Clothe the naked, donating clothes to King's Things or organization that gives out clothes. Visit the sick. Someone in your family is sick, you visit them. Spiritual work of mercy. Pray for someone. Teach someone to do something. So these are what the works of mercy are. And we do go over this. Once the kids start coming to gatherings, we'll give them other, more of a definition of what each one is and how they can complete those and what different examples of them are. On here, if you ever miss a newsletter, you just come back to here and click on it. So if you didn't get July's newsletter that came out on July 1st, you come here and get that. The Flock Note sign up, everyone should be, Bridget sent that out. Again, if you miss one of them, they're right here. Everything is on this page. If you came to the April 27th meeting that I held, or you didn't get to watch it, it's still on this page. And so is the My Catholic Faith Delivered walkthrough that the company gave. So that is here. All right. And then our Facebook. I'm going to stop the share. All right. I know that was a lot of information for everyone. Is there any questions? For the family gatherings, we ask that you do them the month they are. We don't really allow makeup. So unless your child is sick, we will allow you to carry it over to the next month. The whole point of doing this, so we don't have to do the traditional program, is that we get to see you every month. We get to see you and your child. We get to engage with them. Some of the events we'll keep you together. Some of the events we will keep the adults together, and we will take the children either into the church, or we put you into the church and we take the children into the hall, and we'll do things with the kids based on whatever they're learning at the time. They'll be in with grades 1 through 5, but we all learn about God the same way. We all learn about the Trinity together. We'll all learn about what a service project is, what corporal works, what the rosary is. So we'll do stuff like that. All right. We all good? Anyone any questions? Just know we're here all the time for you. All right. I am full for just part-time. She gets your answers. You need us, email us, Flock Note us, text us. If you get into Flock Note, put your text in there. We can text you right to your phone. Especially too, if we have to cancel something last minute because of something going on, something happening, we want to make sure we get a hold of you so you don't, drive all the way over to wherever we're going and we don't have something because of weather or something like that. All right. Keep us communicating. That's the main thing. Don't worry if you're coming, if something's happening in your life and you just fall behind because there's personal issues, just reach out to us, say, hey, we're going through something right now. We just need extra time. We want to work with you. All right. And that's pretty much all I have. Okay. You are welcome. Again, I like having this. I know there's only a few of us on. This will go up on the website also, so you can reflect on it. Again, I'm always available. Email me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Okay? All right. That's all I have. I look forward to meeting you all in person. If you're coming to the barbecue, I look forward to seeing you, your children. It's going to be a great event. We're getting close to almost 700 people at this event. It's more than was last year. There's lots of stuff for the kids to do, plenty of food. We have games for them, bounce houses. I got some water ice. So we have lots of stuff. So we hope to see you there. All right. All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. The event is rain or shine, and we're praying no rain. We've been very blessed for all these years not to have rain, but we do have tents. There'll be a pig roast there. We have a pig there. It's great. So plenty of food. We look forward to seeing you guys there. All right. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you.